we approved tonight a budget that is keeping us whole year over year, with the exception of the technical adjustments. So you heard Mr. Hagler talk about the 3% increase, step increases, some health insurance increases, etc. But no additional programs have been added. And so we were looking at about a 3.45 million, 3.5 million addition to last year's budget. What we're banking on is the fact of the budget that will be coming in, the revenue dollars from the state, will be around that total number if you take the average of what the General Assembly proposed and the governor proposed. We're counting on at least at least half of that, with them being a compromise and bringing it back to us. But with the understanding, so what this allows Mr. Hagler to do is to take that to our Board of Supervisors to say, this is what our budget is. If that changes, Mr. Hagler will bring that back to us. If we get more money from the state, then we'll look at adding more programs that were recommended last year and some new this year from our teachers, community, staff, etc. But if there is a budget shortfall, then we've got to come back to this table and start talking about what did we cut.
Right.
So, well, and I'm not going to say the same options will be back on the table, but what I will tell you is that this board has a lot of decisions to make. At the end of 28-29, we've got an $8 million shortfall that goes from where we currently have it held in the maintenance budget back to operations, based on the LCI numbers increasing, and therefore we're having to put more of the money in the budget versus the state sending it to us. So I want to be clear on that. But we still have $8 million in funding that will no longer be going to the capital improvement plan. And so, yes, we funded the operations budget as it sits today, but at the end of that 28-29, there's no money to fund new HVACs, new roofs, paint, carpet, tile, any of those maintenance projects that will be needed. And so we've got some discussions to go back and find out, okay, the monies that we do have today, that we have budgeted, are we spending them where they need to be spent? And so we're going to be driving efficiencies that way, working with our executive leadership team, going line item by line item with our budget, but also looking long term. What does that mean? How do we start setting additional money aside to not only meet the basic maintenance needs, but also to fund $118 million in unfunded projects that we have today? Conversations are already happening because they need to be happening, because you've got an $8 million shortfall coming very quickly in 28-29, but you also have $120 million worth of unfunded CIP projects, big projects that we need to fund. And so we, as a board, need to make sure we're driving efficiencies with the current money that we have, but we also need to figure out how are we paying for the needs of the school system.